What is up, my viewers? It is time for World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This is actually going to be one of my own matches. It is in my E100. It is a standard battle on Swamp because that is the only type of battle on Swamp. And it is going to be me and my buddy Gilthoniel, who is, at the time of this video, well, at the time of this replay, in the SAR clan, but he did actually recently move over to Esprit de Corps, if I am recalling correctly. So we're just rocking it in our E100s. Tier 10 advantage is slight for our team. And oh, actually, speaking of the devil, it looks like Kingfisher 42 of Esprit de Corps is on the enemy team. However, he's only in a bulldog. He's not really in a very powerful vehicle such as Gil and myself. Everyone can say that the E100, when you're running an E100 platoon, it's kind of easy mode, and in a sense it is, but at the same time, most everyone knows how to pen an E100. It doesn't mean it's necessarily super easy to pen an E100, but everyone knows how to fight it because it is so common. But it's common because it's good. On another note, I would just like to point out the enemy team is pushing the south, which is a bit odd. And not something you see too common, although you do still see it every now and again. Most teams recognize that pushing the south, crossing the bridge is a bad idea for really either side. You most of the time want to leave the bridge that is closest to your spawn alone and just kind of go to the longer travel route. And most of the time you see a fight more evolve out in the middle of the swamp instead of at those bridge points. Now, Swamp is getting a rework in, I believe, 9.7 or maybe 9.8. They have announced that they're reworking this map yet again to try and get it to be bearable and not have as many draws and, you know, make it not as terrible as it currently is. So many people dislike this map. I honestly don't mind it. I don't think there's any particular map in this game I hate. Right here, I noticed Kingfisher right there almost getting shot by me, but at the same time, I'm just kind of being a little bit aggressive. There's only a 261. I say only. I've killed many an E100 in my 261. It's actually a very effective arty for killing E100s, especially because E100s are so big and nice and able to hit with AP. And I just got shot by something, however, I do not know what. My damage logger doesn't really... Oh, it doesn't really tell me what I get hit by unless someone else can spot it. So it's one of those situations of... It's just a good indicator when you get shot by something and it sounded like it was a big tank. Maybe you should back up. I'm pretty sure it was a tank destroyer, probably that E4, if I had to guess. And right now, Gil and myself are just hanging back a little bit, not crossing that bridge, getting a little aggressive there. Gil is pushing up. And I'm going to hang back just a slight bit, watching center, trying to catch this bulldog. I really want to remove him because even though he is only a light tank, he is still doing his damnedest to spot us for the enemy team and give his team valuable intel. Right here, an AT-15 just right out in the open. I want to smack him, and I will. A high roll of 802, and that AT-15 might not live for much longer. Hopefully our Leo 1 will be able to kill him here. I'm not sure if he's actually going to get the shot. Finally getting spotted, and yep, the Leo 1 will get the kill. It has been a while since I've watched this replay, so it's I can't quite recall exactly what happened. A T-54E1 getting a little aggressive, and he will pay for it. Another high roll of 836 and the IS-8 ricocheting off me, especially at these distances. Now, this is a 9.4 replay if you have not been made aware just by simply where it is within the playlists and by the thumbnail. This is the 9.4 version, so the accuracy nerf has not come about quite yet. That is 9.6, and you know, it just goes to show, even at regular distances, even before the 9.6 accuracy nerf, armor still had a pretty useful utility, a pretty useful amount of effectiveness, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not Englishing well right now, apparently. But an enemy 100 pushing up, causing me to still fire AP. A lot of people will fire nothing but heat out of their E100s, but I'll most of the time assess the enemy team and determine, hey, I don't think I need heat rounds because, well, I feel comfortable penning them. And another high roll of 840. Gil and myself, our team is down 3-6, and I just remember the entire time Gil was saying, hey, we need to do this, hey, we need to do that, and I was like, I agree. But at the same time, I think we got this. I mean, hit points for each team are pretty even, and we are two pretty much full health E100s here. Yeah, we are full health E100s, and I was just like, we got this. We just remained calm and cool and collected and killed their entire team here and there when we could. So 3-7 if I'm gonna do it ours to theirs. And so far, the enemy team pretty scattered if you're looking at the minimap, and M103 being very aggressive, pushing up the center. Like I said, a lot of times you will see tanks moving through that swamp area because it does provide a bit more cover than moving through those open spots to the either north or south bridges. Indian Panzer managing... No, actually, that was Kingfisher and his Bulldog managing to kill that Carnarvon, getting spotted by the Indian Panzer, and the enemy team being very aggressive. RWZ 111 1-4, not going to be alive for all that much longer unless I can do something to help out. And ISU 152, he is utilizing the BL-10, but I will take him out. 688, a decent roll. I don't know what my actual roll was because it was a kill shot, but it was high enough to take him out. Granted, I had a greater than 50% chance to kill him because he was below my average damage. SDB1 in the middle, now a one-shot from me. Our Leo 1 doing what he can to spot the enemy team, and I see a T-54E1 who is not quite within my kill range, and an SDB1 will be taking a shot at me. Another tank taking a shot at me, and it looks like it will be Kingfisher, who will not be getting away, finally able to eliminate him after just so many annoying little spots he got on our team. So Gil still holding the front against that E5 and E100, and of course we're in TeamSpeak together. We're talking and communicating, and he's saying he's good, he's got it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to see if I can spot the enemy team. The enemy 261 actually has been spotted, and it was moving towards the south, so I'm going to see if I can spot him and possibly get an arty kill, because at this point, artillery is my biggest concern. I'm an E100. I've got armor to everything except artillery, and therefore that is my concern. And E4 showing himself, and as I go up to spot him, I do remember this particular instance in the map. I'm just trying to get some shots off on him. That 261 still not quite spotted, but the E4 definitely trying to do what he can, and the 261 getting a little greedy, and it will cost him his life. Now, that's a Puma player. We all know, if you watch my previous commentaries, how I kind of have less than favorable opinions of the Puma clan, not because they're a bad or trash-talking clan in the sense that they're toxic, but just the fact that they have let me down on one too many occasions in pub matches where they're on my team, and I expect them to help me out and help my team do something that could ensure us to win the match, and they just let me down constantly. So I kind of prefer to be fighting them than have them with me. Maybe that's a little elitist, maybe that's a little stat hoary in a sense, but I mean, it's just the fact of my personal experiences. If you let me down on a constant basis, if your clan lets me down on a constant basis, chances are pretty good I'm not going to want to be teamed up with you in pubbies. I'm not going to want you as a part of my team because I can't depend on you to help me out. Rant over with. Me going back to this T110E4, and I was previously focused on the SB1, but at the same time I recognize the Leopard 1 and Gil are both back there. The SB1 is quite unlikely to try and push me, and right now I can just kind of go at this T110E4 with little consequence because there is no longer any artillery. Trying to get a shot on that hatch. The E4 theoretically a one-shot, I think. No, I actually, going back on that, I do believe my highest damage I can roll with an a heat round or an AP round is 913. I don't believe it's 944 or higher. So right now I cannot kill him, but I can at least knock him down to be a one-shot for anyone else on my team, including my high explosive shells. He's doing a pretty good job of hiding his tank, but not good enough. 873 there, managing to knock him down to easy one-shot range. STB1 still proving to be quite annoying, and I recognize he needs to die. And he's a guaranteed one-shot. T-54E1 also pushing around the corner and shooting me in my butt. Not exactly happy about that. 2 shots for damage. Third shot not quite going through, and the enemy STB1 has fallen back. The T-54E1 is reloading at this point, or at least we can assume he is doing so. And right now, our team still has a very solid chance of victory. All of our remaining tanks are tier 10s. Pretty much almost all of us are blue, with the exception of Artie, who is close to, he's like dark green. And the enemy team, they've only got 2 tier 10s, a tier 9, and a tier 8. It's really not looking good for them at this point. So Gil and I just kind of held the lines. And yeah, we were a little bit campy, but when your team is at the disadvantage we were, with the tank count favoring them as much as it was, that's when you really have to turtle up. You can't be affording to make too many risky moves. T-54E1 has been spotted, which lets me know I am more than comfortable pushing up on this STB1. At the same time, our Leopard and our Bat Chat are circling up. They did manage to kill that T110E4, who I had nearly killed myself. Just left him with 71 hit points. And at this point, it's a guaranteed win. So 2 kills for Gil, 4 kills for me, and over 5,000 damage, a solid match. And Gil just getting us brothers in arms, that's what that eradication is. And I ever so love the Unreal Tournament sound pack. It is just so much fun. It just adds that next level of, hey, I'm doing good and I'm enjoying myself to the game. The T92 saying, good job, E100s, basically recognizing our contribution, 7 of our teams. 13 kills at this point, and the T32 kind of trying to come up on an E100. That is not even close to a fair fight. I'm assuming he just wants to die. Bat Chat providing long range support and will get the kill, and all that remains is a T110E5 who is a 2-shot for an E100, but looks like he'll try to back away. Gil getting the kill, well, not the kill shot, but you know what I mean, might as well have been kill shot, lining him up so I can knock him down, hitting him in the tracking, actually, repairing that track, trying to get away, and not in quick enough fashion, obviously. So 8 kills for the 2 of us, but let's get to those post-game stats and see how I did, well, how we did, I suppose. And here we go, managing to get myself Tank Sniper. I actually forgot I got Tanker Sniper there. High Caliber for the amount of damage it caused, Steel Wall for the amount of shots I bounced, and Brothers in Arms. So anytime you earn yourself 4 medals, that's always beneficial. Shell Proof, which is a bit hard to do in an E100 and a mouse both, and I mean, it's just hard to get enough tanks to shoot at you with big enough rounds to add up to your hit points. Getting Steel Wall is significantly easier than that. Fire 4 effect, obviously, Duelist and Fighter, rah. And here we go. Total damage done by me is over 5,500, just barely. Gil did about over 3,000 points of damage, and that Bat Chat dealing nearly 4,000 points of damage. As you can tell, though, all the blue players, all the tier 10s, definitely top damage dealers, and getting between all of us, it looks like, phone, shut up. Anyway, as I was saying, between all of us, we got, let's see if I can math, 13 kills. So, very valuable teamwork right there. If Gil, myself, and that Bat Chat had been platooned up, we would have gotten Crucial Contribution, which I don't get that often just because I don't platoon that often, but you know, it's one of those things. Now, one thing I do have to say is, if you've noticed, I'm a little out of practice. I've been just getting way too distracted with life, and I understand that you understand, well, most of you understand that, you know, life takes priority and you got to take care of yourself, and I'm trying to get myself on a schedule to where I can do these more and where I'm not so out of practice. Another thing I want to say is that I'm kind of getting tired of doing my own games, just because it's a little boring knowing what to expect. I'm not one of those narcissistic people who just is like, oh, I did awesome, look how awesome I am. Like, no, I get good games all the time. It's just whether or not I find them exciting enough to do a commentary on. And yeah, this one was right on that line of, should I really even do it? Just because I know what to expect. And that makes it hard for me to enjoy the commentary as much. I love it when you guys send in good games to me, because I have no idea exactly what's going to happen. So when something legitimately exciting is happening and something unexpected is happening, I actually feel excited. I actually feel a sense of, oh my gosh, what's about to happen? Is he gonna pull this off? Whereas with me, I'm like, oh wait, I remember this. We had this in the bag the entire time, rah. And it's one of those sort of situations to where it's kind of getting dull. I mean, it's not completely dull for me at this point, obviously, if I'm still doing it, but it's getting to the point to where I just, you're probably gonna see less and less replays from me, and it's probably gonna get to the point of where you're not gonna see probably any of my replays anymore, no matter how good the matches are, except for maybe like once every month or two. And it will probably have to be an exceptional gameplay where it was just off the wall crazy. I mean, just the other day, this past weekend, from when this was uploaded, which this should be uploaded, I would say Wednesday, maybe Thursday of this week, which is the second week of March? Yeah, second week of March. I had to math there a little bit. Technically, second week in March, kind of. Yeah, second week of March. Anyway, enough rambling on about that. Like I said, it's just this past weekend, I had a not a Kolobanovs. Not that impressive, although I did have a Kolobanovs in my VK4502B, and I don't think I uploaded that at all, if I recall correctly. And it was one of those... No, actually, I did, didn't I? Anyway, sorry, I am rambling. Like I said, I'm out of practice. But getting back to my point, I had a Radley Walters this past weekend in my Conqueror. And that's the Conqueror heavy tank, not the Conqueror artillery, not the CGC. And it was one of those situations of, well, it was a good game. I did good damage. I got 9 kills, and, you know, I did well. But at the same time, I just didn't feel all that excited with the match. And like I said, this one, it was a good match, but at the same time, like I said, throughout the entire match, Gil and I just had our heads about us, and we were just like, we still got this, we still got this. Although I was saying that more than he did. At certain points, he was a little less sure, and I was like, no, we still got this. We've got plenty of hit points. We got plenty of armor. Look at what tanks they have left. They don't have a chance in hell, a snowball's chance in hell of killing us. And look, I was right. We had the skill advantage, we had the tank advantage because we had more tier 10s, we had heavier tanks that were just in defensive postures, and all theirs were kind of just scattered about and not in any sort of position to kill us. So in every way, even though we were down tanks in terms of like tank count, we were up in every other possible way just because of skill and tank types and who was driving those tanks. So it was one of those situations of, like I said, you're probably going to see less replays of my games and more replays of yours as long as you guys keep submitting them, which I have to say, some of you have kept submitting them even despite my random hiatuses here and there, my random breaks, so I am greatly thankful to you guys for that. And like I've just got to also say, keep in mind that I am getting a little more selective with the games you guys send in. Now, I haven't had to exclude any yet, because most of them you've sent in have met my minimum quota of, do I feel like this was a decent enough commentary to where it's interesting enough for me to upload? Yeah. And I appreciate you guys for being self-selecting enough to where you're definitely, you know, weeding out some of the chaff there. And just gotta say, thanks again. But I feel I've rambled on long enough, so remember, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you got a replay, well, check the description below for instructions on how to submit. I will probably be revamping those instructions this weekend, hopefully, but we'll see. And if you got any suggestions on how I can make my videos or channel better, please let me know in the comment section below, or say whatever you want. Comments are there for anything. But until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.
MLG Dynamo!